can solo more than him. That's great.
Dios mío. I love that sounds like the applause sound, but it sounds like someone farting and shitting themselves.
Could be all the above.
I was like, what the fuck is that?
The ad should have started.
No, we went live a couple minutes later than.
No, the way it said ad starting in 0 seconds, I was like, does that mean it should have already?
No,
Oops.
it's like the pre. It's the pre-start. Oh yeah.
I refreshed the wrong window.
Three, two, one. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the SharpSHOOTers. As always, we're your hosts, Danny and Juice. How you doing tonight, Juice?
Doing all right. That countdown was the quietest you've ever done. I barely even heard you say it.
Well, you
but
know what
hello.
happened? I realized that I turned on the mics as I was doing the countdown, so I was trying to do like the count with the fingers. I was hoping you were looking up, and then I don't think it worked. So next time I'm going to not turn on the mics, do the countdown, then turn on the mics. It's all a learning process, Juice. You know, man? That's all it is.
Learning process. All good, my friend.
It's fine.
Falvaton, what was that image? Well, Falvaton, that image was a sneak peek of what we're going to be doing here tonight.
I don't know why that's up.
Tonight, our going back in time. We're going to be talking a lot of every week we talk a lot about current week to week wrestling. This week for our Tuesday episode, we're going to talk a lot of older wrestling, not that old, but nothing current. So our main hook for this segment is now that all of AEW's year one pay-per-views are on Max, I thought it'd be a good opportunity for us to do a rewatch project where we rewatch all the 2019 AEW pay-per-views. Obviously not going to do them all in one shot or all of them that quick, but figured something nice to have on the docket.
So Juice, I hate to burst your bubble, bro, but the other two matches are very old. One was 24 years ago, and then the one before that was like 27 years ago.
Well, thank you, Danny. I was going to get there. I was going to get to that.
Just one
yes.
rewatch.
Yes. So the AEW one was a rewatch. That was our main segment. From there, the other matches we're doing later on tonight are just specific matches from 1997 and 2000. We'll get to those later on after our first commercial break. But right now our thing is AEW Rewatch. Before we do that, some quick housekeeping though. As always, if you are here watching for the first time, we welcome you. Thank you for spending your time with us here on this Tuesday evening. We appreciate it. Also, if you have not followed or subscribed to us, please do so at the link, the little purple button down below. It's either on your browser or on your phone. We do appreciate any and all support. And also, if you look over in the chat,
which is nice.
In the chat, you see in the instructions, if you have an Amazon Prime account, you get one free sub every month to use on a streamer. Cost you nothing. It's part of your Amazon Prime package. So if you have it and you're not using one on anybody, we'd really love to have it. It supports us all the same and costs you nothing. Keverlast, what's up? Good to see you, man. Welcome to the chat. We appreciate that. And again, whether you're in chat or just lurking and watching, we do appreciate you. We're happy you're here, spending any sort of time with us. And one more thing just to bring up is a quick plug for our AEW fantasy. Our WWE.
I was gonna say what?
I was looking at the other screen. The WWE Road to WrestleMania fantasy game. It starts this Saturday at the Royal Rumble and it ends at WrestleMania Night 2. Signups are still ongoing. We're currently at 8 people. I'd love to double that number. I'm being ambitious. You don't have to watch the show weekly. All of the instructions on how to partake and do it week to week are in our Facebook. So please go to our Facebook socials, the SharpSHOOTers, and sign up or let us know in chat if you want to be in. I'll send you all the info personally. Again, if you have signed up, send me your roster for the Royal Rumble only before the pay-per-view starts. After the Royal Rumble begins, then week 1. This is like week 0, technically. Week 1 starts then after the Rumble with Raw. You can keep the same teams if you want the entire season. Again, I won't get too deep into the weeds with it because it's a lot. Yeah. But all the details are there. And honestly, it should be a lot of fun.
Just special reminder that Royal Rumble's a special start time at 6, they said. So make sure you get your rosters in by 6 p.m. Saturday Eastern Standard Time.
That is correct. Awesome stuff. Please do sign up. And again, it's minimal effort on your part. You don't have to be here on the show every week to partake. It's very hands-off. Just got to submit a lineup every week of...
The more of you that also sign up, the more of the WWE roster Juice has to watch, and the more he partakes on my Thursday WWE show. So please, all of you sign up and pick everyone. Pick anyone. Pick everyone. It's going to be great. All right, so... Tonight, usually we have trivia. I'll admit I was unprepared, but Juice comes in the clutch because we have a pack opening, so we're going to put the highlight on Juice right now.
Yeah, on me. Spotlight, me. It's been a minute. I know we had, since the holidays, just didn't really pop up the segment.
We've been a little busy, with some of our segments and stuff.
Yeah, so let's get to it. Again, this is the 2022 Metal Blaster box.
I think last time you had a pretty good pull. Was that the last pack, or was I imagining like 2 ago?
Maybe 2 ago. Okay. Either way, let's get going here. We have the bunny.
Lowered a little bit. There you go.
The bunny as a base card.
Nice.
Right there for you. We have Matt Jackson as a base.
Oh, your favorite with the tag team belts too.
Oh yeah. Dustin Rhodes is a blue chase, a blue variant card. Not really a chase, but a variant. It's like one of the hits of the packs. Some more. I'll share the bases first. We have a Max Caster base.
The
Back when
Acclaim
everybody didn't-
days.
Back when everybody didn't fully hate him. Oh, very timely. William Regal,
Beautiful. Love it.
well known AEW. And we have a base Roosh card.
Oh, definitely your favorite. I know how much you love Roosh.
And then the hit of the pack. I don't know how rare this is, but it is a Nyla Rose gold card.
Hey.
And it's different than the other ones. It says like Skybox on it. It's like not numbered, but it's this is the hit of the pack. So we have two more packs, and then no, I'm not gonna do them now. But when we have two more packs, and when those are open, we'll be done with that box. Then we can either move on to the next pack, or if you hate this, we can retire it. But I enjoy doing it.
No, I think it's great, and I mean not everyone, but a lot of people love pack opening. So
Everyone loves it. I get
Everyone
phone
loves
calls every night.
where's the pack segment? That's what they ask all the time.
Yeah. That's why our viewership was down.
It's crazy.
But we're back, baby.
All right.
All right.
So, Juice, bring us into our main, or not our main event, our first event tonight.
Yeah, so we're going to just recap AEW's pay-per-view Double or Nothing in 2019. So this was their first official pay-per-view. The TV show wasn't going yet. All we had was did you ever show off your Yuka card? I did not show off the Yuka card. It's back over there. I'll save a week for it.
Get it at the commercial break.
Yeah, I'll show it eventually. But yeah, so the AEW pay-per-views are now on Max. So we wanted to use this opportunity to talk about the pay-per-views because I haven't been able to watch them or see them really up until now. I mean, I saw them originally, but like since then I haven't rewatched them. So I thought it'd be nice to rewatch and kind of just reminisce and talk about those shows. Really go in depth. So it's sort of like what we do week to week, but a more in depth with the pay-per-views. So we can just go match to match.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. I think I saw you had a graphic up. I don't know if you want to pop it
let
up
me
or
pop
not.
that. You're right. My apologies. There we
No,
go.
it's okay. That was the graphic our viewers saw, and they were like, "Ooh, what's this?"
So this is a reminder for anyone who didn't see it. The match card for the first Double or Nothing. This is 2019, headlined by Jericho and Omega, and you can see all. It looks like 9 matches, right in front. And honestly, man, watching it, it still lived up to it. It's like just overall before we get into like match by match, just like I wasn't sure if it was gonna live up to it. I wasn't sure if I was gonna like have the same feeling, especially with some of the earlier matches where I still don't know the guys, but like they needed them for the event and stuff. And just top to bottom, it delivered again, and it was awesome. So I can't wait to talk about it.
Yeah. So my first thing, did you watch the buy-in or just the main show?
I just watched the main show, so like the Battle Royal on.
Yeah, so I did as well. I only watched the main show. I didn't watch the buy-in again.
Okay.
Just to recap it really quick, they kind of showed one of the matches, their recap on the pay-per-view anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Age won the 21-man Casino Battle Royal. He was the Joker. He last eliminated MJF. And that gave him the title shot, the opportunity to go on and fight for the title at All Out. And then Kip Sabian defeated Sammy Guevara, which is funny. Like, you just see that, like, on paper, and you think, like, now, like, that wouldn't happen at all. You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
Kip Sabian beating Sammy. So that was the fun stuff.
But Kip Sabian, when we first started, like, he was actually one of the hotter commodities. Like, he was more well-known and stuff. Not to mention, like, even though it's the pre-show, that was technically the first ever singles match. So like they did get it. I know it was on the pre-show, but it was still like televised and stuff. So
it counted.
Pretty interesting. And then yes, that the fact that Sammy doesn't even go over was hilarious. I was like, wait a second.
Yeah. So let's dive in. Before we even get to the first match, a few things I noticed immediately. Shivani, not on commentary, but he was in the crowd. Did you catch him in the crowd?
No. He was in the
front
crowd.
row.
That's
He was
so
front
funny.
row in the crowd. Like immediately, he was one of the first people they showed, just like standing there, not even like flipping out. He was just there in the crowd, and I noticed later on in the night. If you didn't notice him, you didn't notice this. When Omega came out, Omega was like giving everybody like fist bumps at ringside,
Uh
and he passes Shivani. Shivani doesn't put anything out. No high fives, no fist bumps. I'm like, damn, Shivani's a hater of Omega, man. He doesn't like him. There it is. All the
that
proof you need.
we found out in 2019, man. What a piece of shit.
We knew all along. Alex Marvez on commentary too.
I know that was interesting.
He wasn't bad, but like you can kind of get why they took him off because like he was very more like not subdued with his commentary, but it made sense. Like he's not bad.
I
but
felt like
get
he
why
just
they-
kind of couldn't keep up with the pace. He seemed like he just wasn't ready for like the constant like oh boom 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 kind of situation, which is interesting because you figure like you've done it, and yeah, how do you live up to that?
Yeah, JR was on too. Good for him, man.
That
Way
was
back
still
then.
like when he first early on before like more of the age and stuff showed, but like he was the first year JR was great. Like he reminded me how much I love listening to him on commentary. It was fantastic.
Yeah, man. So it's a good commentary crew. But let's get started now. So the first match of the night, we had a 6-man tag team match. We had SoCal Uncensored, Christopher Daniels, Frankie Kazarian, and Scorpio Sky, SCU, as we all know and love, took on the Strong Hearts of Shima, T-Hawk, and L. Lindemann from over in OWE. And I gotta say, like, it was a fun opener. It was a good opener. But I was always of the camp where I was glad the OWE partnership didn't work out because I didn't really care for I like Shima, but besides that, I didn't really care for anybody from that company. Obviously, the pandemic didn't help, but yeah, the match was good. But like just watching, I just kept thinking to myself, yeah, I'm glad this didn't really work out.
Yeah, no, and it was a good opener. It was exactly what they needed it to be, just kind of highlighting SCU. I miss SCU. I miss the way they had great promos. I miss Scorpio Sky. Like even when he was going to do a singles push, I know we were talking about it a little bit that we were hoping that they were going to do it right, and then he just disappeared. Like I still don't know what happened to him. But no, SCU was great, man, and first tag team champions and everything. Like that was just you could see like the kind of road they were going on even at that first pay-per-view. So that was nice.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, a good majority of my notes I had to stop along the way because a lot of my notes were just I miss so and so.
Exactly. No, that's what I was saying too. Like I'm watching this pay-per-view, I'm like, I miss. I'm like, just watch the show.
So, eventually, I just had to be like, okay, scale it back. Just you miss everybody, you get it.
Well, luckily, also towards the end, it wasn't as much missing as it was just like, like that forgot. Is there a mystery special guest?
And then I found it interesting. Is there a mystery special?
I was gonna say, is there a mystery special guest that I don't know about you?
Oh, because you have the third camera up.
Oh, because I didn't put us back. My bad.
No, no, you have the image.
Now
up.
we're
the
back.
image is fine. Oh, you can leave the image up. I think the
No, us back. I forgot that I had the
there you
third one. Thank you for reminding me. Thank you, Killer Tomato. I got so hyped about the pay-per-view.
Well, now he's upset because he was probably expecting somebody else.
He probably thought it was him. You were not the guest.
We should have said yes. Somebody was coming. It's Rumble week. But I also liked they brought up the rule early on that AEW has there's like the 5 count in between tags.
Mm-hmm.
So they made it a point to say AEW had a 10 count in between tags, and it's funny because like made me think like okay they probably still do that. We just don't really like know or catch it. I guess.
But I feel like AEW is always like, listen, we're gonna follow tag team rules to an extent, but they're always just like WWE made a point when AEW started to like show that they follow like the tag rope, the count. You don't interfere, you don't hit each other. Where like AEW has always been a little looser with the tag rules, which is fine by me. I don't care. But like, I don't think I'm sure we'll find many matches where they don't do a 10 count. You know what I mean? So like, I don't know about that.
Yeah. All right. So yeah. So and SCU won that match, by the way.
Yes.
So again, solid opener, did its job. Crowd got into it. They loved it.
Agreed.
Next up, we had the women's match of the evening. The first women's match of the evening. Excuse me. This is a four-way match. It was a three-way match that became a four-way match. This was Britt Baker versus Nyla Rose versus Kylie Ray, and they were about to start, and then Brandy Rhodes comes out and said,
Yeah.
"Hold on, bitches," and she puts Awesome Kong into the match. And
Oh, I miss Awesome
yeah,
Kong so much. I remember I
first of
said
all,
that.
no, hey, you could say it. It's okay. I missed them. I mean, listen, before we even get started, I mean, you had the Bunny, also AKA Allie at this point, on commentary for the women's match. And that's another one, man. I miss Allie being around. I think she was one of the biggest swings and
Perfect
misses for the
impression.
division. What?
JD Falco says perfect impression. I assume for the bitches.
Andy Rhodes.
Yeah.
Thank you. But yeah, I miss Allie. I think they really messed up with the Bunny. And Kylie Ray. I mean, I understand things happened, and personal
Yeah,
and
that
personal.
sucks.
But yeah, I think she could have been a megastar if she actually
Mhm.
worked out with Kylie.
I agree.
I don't miss Brandy at all.
No. I miss Awesome Kong. I think but I've always liked Awesome Kong. I was also gonna say that, with like Nyla, with Britt and stuff, it was nice kind of seeing them for the first time again, like before they really developed into some of these characters that like I wasn't too crazy about. So like it was nice seeing like the original, like, oh man, like they're the future. Oh, this is a different type of women's wrestling. This is a different type of blah 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 blah. And then unfortunately seeing what's happened now, it sucks. Killer Tomato says, I didn't know Awesome Kong at the time and told Juice she looks like the chicken from Glow the show. What?
Well, she was from. Oh yeah. Oh, never mind. Okay. The chick
Oh,
from
the chick.
because she was on. Yeah.
He said chicken, and I was like, "What the hell is he talking about?"
The
Yeah,
show you watched.
that was her.
Yeah. No, he knows, but that's the point. He didn't know her at the time.
That's so
So
funny.
he didn't get it was a wrestler. He's like, oh, that's the actress.
That's so funny.
But yeah, I mean, obviously, again, Awesome Kong things happened and out of AEW's control in the pandemic. But yeah, Britt Baker getting the win here. She didn't really. You could tell she also didn't have it figured out yet. She didn't really know who she was as a character that locked into it, I guess. But yeah, I'm surprised. Listen, I mean, I may not be a huge fan of Nyla Rose, but I'm surprised she's faded as much as she has from like AEW and Tony Khan's good graces. Like, I feel like she should have been like doing more and been around more on TV to like interact with all this talent. I don't know. And she's there every week.
I totally agree, but I feel like Awesome Kong. I feel like Nyla Rose has fallen into like the big man syndrome where they kind of just use her once in a while when they need to like boost up a champion or a new up and comer, and she's like, I was the original and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And I'll say this, and I don't know if it's like technically correct saying or whatever, but I'm surprised they didn't like really jump on the LGBTQ train with her and like really jumped it and showcase that she's the first real like big trans wrestler and really like kind of use that to their advantage with some of the advertisements for people, because a lot of people would have kind of watched just for that, and even your casual wrestler just would have, no offense, the guys who wouldn't watch it because she's transsexual wouldn't watch it because it's probably just a women's match anyway, so you're not really losing much viewership on those matches specifically.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I'll say about it is that like they did early on.
Agreed. Yes. I'm saying they should have capitalized it by kept going with it. Like they can even still be using it now, even though she's not on the main spotlight. Like use that for your advertisements. Use that for her going out and like making appearances and stuff. And I feel like I don't see that as much.
Yeah, she gets like merchandise that like reflects that. But either way, Killer Tomato says she's AEW's Braun Strowman. Well, yeah.
I don't know about that.
Yeah,
I think she's better than Braun.
4-way was fine. It was good. Nothing really crazy. But next up, we have a tag team match. Actually, hold on. Before the tag team match, I think I wrote down something I caught. Before the tag team match, they showed like Jericho and Omega backstage, like in hype of the main event, like getting ready and like in the locker room, like taking off the jacket, doing this and that. And Jericho is either putting on or taking off his jacket, and you can still see the tag for the jacket like on it. And that's just a little thing I saw and I
That's
laughed because I
so
was like, all right,
funny.
it's either a rental or they just bought that shit and like
Right?
they're gonna return it.
They're like, oh man, we need something nice for tonight. Just go out and get something.
Yeah, so that's just a little thing I caught. I wanted to share.
That's fantastic.
Next up, speaking more of lost opportunity or missed opportunities, you have the Best Friends versus Angelico and Jack Evans in a tag team match. I'll let you go first. What are your thoughts?
So it's funny going into it in 2019. I didn't know anything about these two. So like going into it, this was just a tag team match between two guys that AEW was trying to showcase, and like I enjoyed it. It wasn't a great match or anything that I was like, oh my god, this is tag team wrestling, but it was a pretty good standard match. Going into it now, like watching it, I was expecting something so much better because I just love the Best Friends, and I know that Evans and Angelico can go, but it wasn't a good match in my opinion, and that kind of disappointing. It wasn't a bad match, but like knowing what both teams can do, I was expecting a better match.
Yeah, and that's the thing also to bring up here for those that joined us here later on in the show that don't recall. I mean, this is Double or Nothing 2019. Like
also,
at this point,
I'm sorry. Can I interrupt really quick? I apologize. The crowd also not kind of being into it, and at the end kind of being like, "Who are you?" kind of chance. That kind of killed
we'll get
it.
to that.
Yeah, I'm
just saying. Well, it's not related to the match.
That's fair. That's fair.
Don't spoil something from 6 years ago for our viewers.
That's fair.
Well, so something to bring up just to remind everybody, like this match, again, this show was from 2019, no TV deal yet. Like they sold this building out and no one really knew what the company was going to be. Everybody went there on like a hope and a prayer. So like, that's why like you look at this and you could think by AEW standards now, like, okay, it wasn't that great, but like this was still like some crazy impressive stuff they were doing.
Oh yeah,
for the crowds like they haven't seen like minus NXT. Most of this stuff was unheard of that they were seeing wrestlers do. By now it's more desensitized, but either way, I digress. So I enjoyed the match. I mean, I knew 3 of the 4. I didn't know Angelico going into this. I knew the other 3 pretty well. So for me, that's probably why my standards were a little different, expectations. I enjoyed the tag match. I still think Best Friends are probably the top tag team that should have won the tag belts and never did.
Yep.
Huge missed opportunity. I think the ship has sailed, even if they do get back together at this point. But maybe I'm wrong.
I mean, if they get back together, they have to win it. They have to win it because otherwise, what's the point? But yeah, I don't think they're going to be doing it.
You had that moment.
I agree.
And then even Jack Evans, man. I guess I get it didn't work out, but I love Jack Evans. He was a great talent. I
really like the team of Jack Evans and Angelico, and like they might not have been a tag team champion team, but they would have been great for the division. I really enjoyed them as well.
Yeah. So just a shame on all that front that they, none of them really worked out. And I found it funny that JR and during the match is talking about like the evolution of tag team wrestling and AEW is going to be here, and it's just sad to think about because like. Yeah, there's been great matches along the way, but you look at where it is now and the state of things and the tag belts and the trios tags. Like, did they really do anything? Like, I don't know. It's a little unfortunate to see tag team wrestling.
I don't think there's been any like. No, that's not fair to say. I don't think there's been as many standout moments as we expected coming from like the Revolution. No. Like we really expected a tag team revolution in AEW, and we kind of got that in spurts. But we never got that fully, and the problem with the spurts is that it usually involved the Young Bucks, and it never really let the division shine outside the Young Bucks, and that was the other problem with it.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think that's. Oh, then okay. So then, Chuck Taylor and Trent Ritter win the match. Also, it was really weird to see them do the hug and then Excalibur not go, give the people what they want.
Yeah, no one knew. Like, I didn't know what the hell the hug was. I was like, that's interesting. Well, okay.
The crowd knew, but like it wasn't an Excalibur thing yet to say that with the cue. So again, very interesting thing like that. That's funny as hell. But yeah, so then at this point we had our first lights out reveal of the night. Lights go out post match. Lights come back on. We have Evil Uno and Stu Grayson in the ring. Lights go out again. They come back on. all of the little minions and the putties and the creepers are now in the ring, like 20 of them. And the Dark Order debuts, but we didn't know it was a Dark Order yet. No one knew what it was
So
yet.
funny.
They laid out everybody, took out everybody, and unfortunately, the crowd hit them with the "Who are you?" Which I'll admit, when I first watched it, I didn't recall that. And again, I knew who they were. I knew they were referred to as the Super Smash Brothers at that point. Like they were well a known tag team, especially on the West Coast, more so on the West Coast. So the fact that like nobody like really knew who they were, a little bit of a bummer, I'll admit. But Keverles says it was dope that this took place months after WrestleMania 35. It helped me come down from that high of a show months later with an alternative product. Yeah, it was a perfect storm. It was a perfect storm at that point, right after Mania, 35, and right before the Brock Lesnar, Cain Velasquez stuff and the Bray Wyatt stuff with the big hammer. But I digress.
What I will say is that this segment is another example, or more of an example of missed opportunity, because I feel like Dark Order, another one that like could have been a great stable. Super Smash Brothers, from what I understand, was pretty good and well done.
Yeah.
And it could have been a good stable even after they added some people, but like they made it too much into a comedy act and it lost its luster. Like Evil Uno went from being this like crazy maniac, this crazy like animal, to literally being an afterthought and being like almost the manager of the group, and it kind of sucked.
Yeah. I mean, we could do a whole bit on the Dark Order because there's a lot there to talk about. But I'll leave it at this. I mean, hell, I didn't even remember when Uno debuted. Like he had like the black ooze and sludge. Like
that's what I'm saying, man. He was a badass.
He was supposed to be this whole like different kind of thing, and again, they didn't even know what Dark Order was probably going to be yet at that point. So
disappointing.
Yeah, no, overall it is, but we can get to that another day, for sure.
All right, next match. Next match that I have, I'm not gonna lie, still not as, because I still don't know most of those wrestlers, so it was like, it was a match that I wasn't really interested in.
The match was Hikaru Shida, Riho, and Ryu Mizunami. I should have you read this off, but I'll do.
I'll try to read it off. Ready? Here we go. And you even just said it. I'm still gonna get them. I'm still gonna get the names wrong.
Right.
Hikaru Shida, Riho Abe. Is that how you say it?
Who?
It says Riho Abe. I guess that was her original name before it was just Riho.
I don't know what you're looking at, but Riho.
And then oh God, and you just said this name, Ryo Mizunami.
Okay, who they fight?
Aja Kong, that's easy. Yuka Sakazaki, not too bad. And is it going to be Emi or Emi? I'm going to say Emi Sakura.
Oh my God. Yeah, Emi Sakura, Yuka Sakazaki, and Aja Kong. Sakazaki. I just like I like how you were like Yuka Sakazaki. You try to like slip past it. All right.
Hey man, it
Either
worked.
Way. So I apologize.
This isn't the spelling bee. Get out of here, Juice.
I apologize on behalf of my co-host for his ways.
No apologies. For
yeah. My first note I have here was it was 6 women. No one knew US wise.
Yeah.
Hell, I think I only knew Aja Kong going into this match.
I don't even think I knew Aja Kong.
Yeah, I knew Aja Kong just from word of mouth. I didn't know of the other ones, and now I can look back. I appreciated the match way more now, and watching it back then because I knew all these people and I like Shida, I like Riho, Yuka's okay, Rio's okay. I don't really like Emi. That's the only one I don't really care for. But the only thing I really have written down here is the botched finish, unfortunately, with the timekeeper.
That sucks.
Unfortunately,
that was so weird because like no one knew what to do either, and that just was terrible.
You could see the lasers coming out of Aubrey's eyes. So basically, for those that don't recall, they had a moment where I believe Emi Sakura was pinning Shida. Shida kicked out, but then the guy rang the bell. Aubrey's looking at him like, no, like, who? Like, laser eyes.
How dare you?
Up. And the best part is Emi pinned Shida. They botched it, but then they were playing Shida's music. So then, like, So you're like, oh, okay, they botched it because Sheeta's music playing, so clearly they're about to win. And then like 60 seconds later,
That's so
Sheeta
funny.
pins Emmy, and they play Sheeta's music, and I was like, that's unfortunate. So a fun match, but a botched finish kind of is all you really remember by it. But it was a nice showcase because again, at that point they had no women really.
Did you see Killer Tomato's comment?
What did he just called? Oh God, nope. And then Killer Tomato. This sounds like Tim Allen in Jungle to Jungle. Yep. Well, that's your doing, Daniel.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So now moving on to what many consider the big three.
Yes.
Big three matches of the show.
The
First
triple
up,
main
we
event.
have- Yep. First up, we have Cody Rhodes. I'm sorry.
Cody.
Cody with Brandy Rhodes. And Dustin Rhodes, one-on-one, brother versus brother. I'll let you go first. What do you got?
I forgot that this is where the throne incident happened. So once I saw it happening again, I was like, ooh, I remember when that was a shot, and then it didn't mean anything after a little while.
I thought the same thing. I was like, they're doing the long entrance, and I was like, the thing was coming up, and I was like, oh, is this the throne one?
Right? I was
This is
like,
the
oh
throne one.
shit, this is it. And I was like, oh, I wish it meant more a few years later.
Well, yeah, that's a whole other thing. Yeah, I mean, clearly
But-
there's a stink on it now.
It was still dope in the moment. I remember like seeing it and getting like the chills of being like, like that's the shot that I needed to hear. Like War might be coming back. This will be good. Wrestling's back. Like let's get some competitiveness. So I like that a lot. I forgot that DDP got involved in this match.
yeah,
Totally
Yeah,
random, hilarious.
totally involved. He was mad, like rolling with Cody at that point.
I know. I forgot he was like part of the entourage with like everyone. I forgot Cody had an entourage. It's been so long.
Yeah, well, did you catch in the? It's not like they were hiding it, but did you catch in the like during the promo segment beforehand? Like he was sparring with MJF.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's before MJF turned on him and everything. That's when he was like his best friend and everything like that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I forgot about like that entire entourage. It was like him, DDP. Then you had Arn Anderson. Like you had everyone going into that eventually. Like just like being a part of it at some point. It was like a modern day NWO.
It was nice to see like true heel Cody too.
Yes. I like that too. I still love the match, man. It was still a great match. I think everything about it worked exactly like it was supposed to. The whole brother versus brother angle. You had the mocking of the Stardust thing to start off, which always like cracks me up. Just like watching that funny little thing and be like, all right, another shot. Like here we go. Like I'm really getting into this now. All the blood, like that's like the first real blood. And as a WWE fan, you haven't seen that in a long time. Like
That's the thing. Long time, like outside of like Ring of Honor and TNA, which weren't as like public, or and even New Japan doesn't really. They do the blood, but like either way on U.S. soil, yes.
I think the
deal.
last time I saw WWE do blood like that was like the Brock Lesnar Randy Orton like angle where he like got in with the elbow and like everyone wasn't sure if that was real or not. So like the amount of blood that was just going off, and then remembering honestly that like going into the match, as much as I loved Goldust and stuff, I didn't think he could go like that. Like they never let Goldust really have a match like this. So like going into AEW and stuff, I'm like, cool. Like I love the angle, brother versus brother. I'm like, what the fuck is Goldust gonna really do? Like this is a main event match. Like I get it, but like, And I know they had some more of the with the Shield. I know they had some like better matches and stuff, but I still felt like they didn't let like Dustin never did this. And watching Dustin go off and like kind of dial the clock back and just be like, this is what I really could have been doing all these years, and like I could have been a great singles wrestler. Just kind of sucks in retrospect because like he might have been he could have went with Goldust and been a main event character with Goldust. I don't know, man. He could have gone though, and that was great to watch this.
It was it was funny though because like Dustin, I lost my point.
And also a vertebreaker. I still haven't seen a vertebreaker. The fucking
so that was
vertebreaker.
it. that was it. So like, also now we're used to Dustin doing these like Canadian destroyers and like Panama flips and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But like when he pulled that out at Double or Nothing,
Bro.
he'd never done it before.
Never.
So like that's why it was like, holy shit. Like the simplest stuff. But
Yeah, now it's just everyone in everyone's arsenal. It kind of sucks.
some quick notes I got. Cody with no neck tattoo. Man, I miss you, brother. It was beautiful. No neck tattoo. Like simpler times for our guy. Earl Hebner showing up, refereeing this match.
Yeah.
His notorious fast count. Holy shit!
It's so funny.
Every time I see it, I hate it. But
It's so funny.
I like the unprotected turnbuckle spot that got messed up. If you caught it, because like Cody pulls the whole turnbuckle pad off, and Dustin goes into it, but like of course, like the little bit piece of padding stayed like right on the exposed part. So like he hits it,
yeah.
and they're like, "Oh, you hit the exposed part," but it's like, the padding was still on.
We all know he didn't. We saw it. Don't show a replay.
Bad.
Don't show the replay.
Oh man. I popped for Excalibur saying the bicycle kick. We hit him with the bicycle kick. At that point, I didn't really know Excalibur, so that was my.
That's so funny.
First introduction to him.
That's great.
I like the detail of after the match. By the way, Cody Rhodes defeated Dustin Rhodes in the match. Sorry, Cody with Brandy Rhodes, not Cody. Because he couldn't use a fucking full name at that point because of WWE. So
that's why he did the sledgehammer. That's why he did the sledgehammer to show a point.
Yeah, well, who won that one? I guess.
Who finished the story?
Oh, please. Stories never finish. Dustin starting to take the boot off as Cody was getting the ring. A nice little detail I didn't catch the first time around.
Oh, yeah. He was supposed to retire. Yeah.
Him untying the boot, getting ready to like call it and all that.
And also, just really quick, I thought that was the point of the match. Like,
yeah, it was.
I thought him leaving WWE, like this was his swan song, and that's I was like, cool, like I get it. And I don't know. I'm curious, like, how far in advance that was planned with Dustin and Cody. Like, did Dustin really think that might have been his last match, and it depended how the match went? Like, he was gonna kind of keep going with it. Like, was the Young Bucks going to be the last match? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what Dustin's thought mindset was on that.
I'm sure he knew he was staying around. But my last note about the match was, post-match was when Cody was doing that promo, man, when he's doing like the I don't need a tag team partner, I don't need this, I need my older brother.
It was bad.
And he's what?
What
do you mean bad? Dude, the crowd ate it up.
No.
I wrote down like that's the stuff, man. That's fucking wrestling.
I that came out wrong. I loved it.
Run that back.
I loved it. I really did love
it.
I loved it. I thought it was a great promo. It was everything you need to do. The acting at some points was questionable. That's what I meant to say. That there were some points where like he's like trying to like swallow and fake cry and like get the words out, and it's sounding kind of like That's what I meant.
Cody.
I know. I'm just saying it wasn't like a perfect promo, but it was still exactly what we needed. It was great. I didn't mean that was a bad promo.
It was all emotion. So
I agree.
I agree. Loved it. All right. Next up, before we get to the next match, there was a brief segment in between where Bret Hart comes out and is unveiling the AEW World Title for the first time to the audience. And from here, Bret Hart can unfortunately barely get in the ring. He messed up his promo halfway through and apologized halfway through. Always a great sign from good old Bret. And then I forget. I think Adam Page. Cody sounded just as ridiculous last night with Punk asking him if he's his friend.
Oh my God! Yes, that's for Thursday. That's for Thursday, but 100% pretty similar in my opinion.
We'll save that one for Thursday. But yeah, so from here, Bret Hart's about to unveil it, and I forget what order they all come out, so I'm just going to name all their names. Adam Page comes out, MJF comes out, Jungle Boy at the time comes out, and Jimmy Havoc comes out, which made me start to think and realize that Darby wasn't on this show, and I don't remember what he did prior Like if he was on All In, the first one. Like I don't know when he really got in. I can't recall it, so I have to go look. But like it makes you wonder, like knowing who was in this segment, like and Jimmy Havoc kind of fading away. Like I hate to say, like was he gonna get that spot? But it just shows you how highly like Havoc was considered compared to Darby.
Killer Tomato
Um,
says, was he injured? No, I don't think he was injured back then.
I have no clue. I honestly
Um,
didn't even know Darby at that point. So I'd have
Jimmy,
to
I
look.
really do think was supposed to like be that kind of big blood and guts daredevil type guy. Like
Yeah,
he was a big name coming. I forgot where he came from, but like I knew Jimmy
UK
Havoc's
came from the
name
UK.
coming into AEW. So like he was supposed to be a big thing. And even when he was doing this stuff with Kip, I know it was like technically a step down, but they were still all over the show. It's not like they were like fading into
Yeah.
the background. They were still a very big part of the show. And then everything came out and like Jimmy Havoc disappeared. So
Well,
I do think, I don't know if he would be a world champion, but I do think he was supposed to be in that upper mid card
for
discussion.
sure. Yeah, and I mean, also if you recall, I mean, he disappeared initially because of the COVID stuff. First, he couldn't,
Yeah.
he had no visa, so that's what really kept him off and cooled him off. Obviously, then all the other stuff came out,
Yeah.
but I digress. Yeah, so the segment led to just a big brawl amongst all these guys, Paige, MJF. And it's funny looking back and listening to their themes because like all their theme songs are
They're
like essentially
so
still the
different.
same. Well, they're essentially still the same, but they're slightly tweaked some of them in places. So it's, as a
Oh, yeah.
from a
Okay.
musically speaking, it's just interesting to listen to them and hear how like different they are. Like MJF's and Paige's were like a little bit longer. Darby debuted and fought Cody at Fighter Fest, so that was like a show or two after. So there you go.
Yeah, Killer Tomato.
Yeah. Either way, I mean, he could have been injured here in November. He could be all right. Who knows? All right. Any thought? And then Brett revealed the belt, and obviously there's no production crew really yet, so the cameras like never caught the belt.
Yeah, it was very strange. It was a poor segment. It
good.
wasn't everything they were definitely hoping it was supposed to be. It wasn't like the worst, but like Brett
It did its job.
it should have been like more on the ramp. The guys should have went to the ring if they wanted to, but like maybe the wider shot would have helped Brett. Brett maybe wouldn't have been so tired getting into the ring where he would have flubbed his lines. I think that's part of it, that he was so like tired from doing the whole entrance and getting into the ring and stuff that like he was just kind of tired to speak. And he's older, so it kind of sucks.
Yep.
All right,
So
next one.
moving on, tag team titles. We have tag team titles from AAA. Not
Yeah,
AEW,
that's so
they didn't-
funny because
they
they
didn't
still don't have any
exist
belts yet.
Young Bucks were the AAA World Tag Team Champions.
Actually, hold on.
defending-
Sorry. Jay DeFalco is very, very correct. And that might be something that was part of it, that Brett was tackled couple months ago. No, he's not wrong, bro. Like, especially the AEW. It's not like AEW has the security that WWE is supposed to have. So, like, if that happens in WWE, who the fuck knows what's going to happen in this, like, random indie show that's 10,000 people because they're trying to fill the stadium. Like, that might not be the wrong, like, that might have been part of it. He might not be wrong about that.
Brett's a bitch. Moving on. So, Young Bucks defending against the Lucha Brothers, Ray Phoenix, and Pentagon Jr. at the time. I'll admit I only have a few things about this one. I don't have much to say. Not from a hater's perspective. Just first thing I noticed was that I don't know if you watch this on Max or elsewhere, but on the Max feed, I noticed they changed the Bucks theme in post. Like it's not their original AEW theme. They use some generic things. So I guess they don't own the rights to the older theme anymore.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't catch that.
Yeah, because it sounded very generic.
I
was
also
like, "Where's
did.
the-"
I also did it on the stream though, so like it probably was
then,
the
yeah.
original.
You wouldn't have noticed.
I don't have.
And
Max.
then yeah, the only thing I wrote here otherwise was just like, man, like, it was nice to see like motivated Young Bucks and the Lucha Bros like before the egos and all the other stuff kicked in, like before everything got messy, essentially.
Yeah.
It was just a simpler time and it was a good match.
This
that's really all I got.
This is what I thought the tag team revolution was going to be, and I was kind of okay with it. That it was going to be different as long as they were highlighted. And like this was the match that a lot of people were like, look, man, like they're serious about it. Like it's a main event. Look how well they went. Look how long they went. Blah blah blah. And like they were keeping it up for the first year, and then it started going downhill. But yeah, no, this match was great. It was everything it was supposed to be. It lived up to the hype. I loved it on the rewatch. I thought it was exactly
That was good.
exactly what I remembered it to be. So yeah.
Yeah, and the Young Bucks retained.
Yep.
For those that don't recall, they retained the titles against the Lucha Brothers. And also, it was nice to see them without No Abrahantes. That was nice. And lastly,
but I wasn't as hyped.
Whatever. Shut up. Our main event for the evening: Chris Jericho versus Kenny Omega. Winner goes on to face Adam Page for the world title at All Out.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
How did it feel enjoying Chris Jericho again?
Listen, yeah, it was good. I've already made it very clear that everything pre-2024, everything 2023 and earlier Jericho, I had no problem with at all. It was only when 2024 hit, it seems like he just hit a wall, and that was it. But anyway, we're talking about 2019 Jericho. I loved the Through the Years entrance with Jericho, the lighty jacket, and all the different versions of Jericho before he came out with Judas. Cool. Again, weird seeing him come out to Judas and no one's singing Judas because it wasn't a thing yet.
I know. I was singing Judas, which is funny, but I noticed the crowd wasn't singing Judas.
They didn't know it. Yeah, there wasn't.
I miss Judas. I hope it comes back whenever he turns again.
Yeah, we'll see. And then I laughed big time. I forgot about the Cracker Barrel getting stuck in the ring to start the match.
100%.
Because they had the giant Cracker Barrel advertisement in the ring, a giant barrel. And I guess they got it in the ring beforehand, and I guess afterwards they didn't think about getting it out. And like it was Paul Turner trying to get it out. This poor guy under the bottom rope, and Jericho just goes, "Get the fuck out of here!" Grabs the barrel, just chucks it like Donkey Kong out of the freaking ring, and you can just tell Jericho's immediately heated. Like, are you kidding me? We just started.
Like, this is supposed to be the main event of this huge show. I just got in the ring. You still can't get this shit cleared for me?
Killer Tom says he needs a Fozzy tour to get back to Mojo. Honestly, man, that ain't gonna do it. It's not the learning tree. Whatever. We're not gonna get into it. Moving on.
Anyway,
I made my rule. And then my last note about the match itself was just they clearly didn't have a table distributor yet. They had those cheap tables that they put each other through.
I know.
They were brutal.
Those hurt so much, man.
Yeah. And before we get to the post-match stuff, do you have anything else to say about the match itself?
I loved seeing, again, a Jericho that could go. I think my problem, different from you, is I enjoy Jericho. I enjoy a lot of the work. Even the learning tree hasn't been the worst. It hasn't been great, but I haven't hated it as much as you have. I have early on. I did find some moments I liked about it. I think now I'm in your camp where I just don't like it anymore. But early on, I did enjoy it. But where I had a problem with him and started last year was that he just couldn't go in the ring anymore. Like, he was a step slower, and he was still trying to do the moves of a guy from 2019. It's like, bro, change the offense. You can still go in the ring probably, but like not with a moonsault off the second rope anymore. Like, you can't do that stuff anymore. And like, he was still trying it. It was a little disappointing. Watching Jericho here is like, yes, that was the Jericho I remember, like, showing up and entering in, and like it was good. Young Kenny Omega, hungry Kenny Omega. Like, I really enjoyed this match.
And I love even Excalibur saying like, "Oh, the Judas effect may not even be real," because this was like the debut.
Yeah. No one's ever seen it. We were also wondering what it was. I was disappointed with the Judas effect, as I still am, because I was expecting something a lot cooler, effective, but I was just expecting something like cooler.
Now I'm fine with it, but in the moment, you're like, "That's it."
Yeah.
But it was fine. I also expected Jericho to win that. Like, I didn't really think.
Yes.
Like, I figured Jericho was going to be the first champion from the get-go anyway. I was always okay with.
I wasn't sure about that. I wasn't sure if they'd give it to Hangman, but like, it made it in retrospect, and once I talked to like more people about it, especially you, it made 100% sense that it had to be with Jericho.
Yeah.
Post match.
And then my last note for the whole night of the pay-per-view, the debut of Jon Moxley after the show.
It was great.
Man, crazy moment. Crowd erupted. JR made it with this commentary, his announcing.
As always.
Just awesome. Everything about it was a home run. Awesome. Welcome.
And the best part about it is, like, we knew it was happening. I think there was a promo or something he put online before that had like poker chips and shit in it. So like, everyone had an idea that like it might be happening or that he might be showing up, but still just watching him and like only experiencing Dean Ambrose never experiencing John Moxley, the second he was on the screen, I saw the different person. Like, it wasn't
Yeah.
Dean Ambrose. It wasn't close to Dean Ambrose. And, like, it's amazing how the same person who really doesn't dress that differently, it's literally just the attitude, the way he comes out, is a completely different persona. And it was great. Like, I got goosebumps watching that one too, just like seeing him come back out. I was like, this is what got me so into AEW. The throne breaking, the tag team match, Moxley showing up. Like, this was what really got me into this company at the beginning.
And it's still great stuff. It's just it's
Yes.
different now, and it's the nicest way you can put it. It's different now.
It's the
It's
problem that we all knew was going to happen. It's become more of a business now. They're becoming more WWE like, unfortunately.
I wouldn't even say WWE like. I'd say they're just more set in their own patterns and rhythms, and that's where redundancies pop in. That's where patterns pop in.
Yeah, that's fair.
And that's where you lose the thrill and the fun of, oh my god. And I think what helped them a lot was the pandemic, because it gave them a long stretch of time where they can get totally creative and nuts in that venue and do weird and different things with talent.
That's fair.
But
All
either
right.
way, different times. So eventually we will watch the next show. Not anytime soon, but we'll get to it. But for now, we're gonna take a commercial break.
Yes.
And when we come back, we're gonna dive into our time rewind segment where we each recommended one match to each other. We'll talk about those matches, and then we'll be done.
I want to give a quick little preview for those of you. We will be doing more Bret Hart talk, so don't go anywhere. You know, Juice is going to give us some great intakes, all right? We'll be right back after this commercial.
Intakes? What?
Did I say
Doctor, nurse?
What? Welcome back, everyone, and we are doing our next segment of Be Kind Rewind, where we each gave each other a match to watch, whether we saw it in the past or we're watching it for the first time now, and to kind of talk about it. Kind of what we just did with the AEW pay-per-view, except we gave each other a specific match. So I'll start off with the match I gave Juice. I gave Juice the 1997 In Your House Canadian Stampede main event between Team Heart Foundation and Team Austin. The reason I gave this to Juice was because last week when we were doing our blind rankings, I gave this as one of the multi-man matches because I thought Juice watched it. Juice never saw it, and I was like, oh, this is a pretty pivotal part of the Heart Foundation Stone Cold Steve Austin feud, so you should watch it. So I gave it to him to watch. What'd you think?
And I did watch it. So I just have to say I'm going to be an ignorant American here for a moment.
Uh-oh.
I didn't do the research and look into it. I don't know the full aspect of what Canadian Stampede is. I'm assuming it's some sort of like fair or festival where they all get together. But like, I think it's dumb they all wear cowboy hats. Like, you're not cowboys. You're not from the West. Like, stop it. That annoys me. I've been nice about it for long enough.
You know, cowboys are all over, man. They're in the South. They could be in the West, and now apparently they're in the North. People, but their Stampede is what killed Mufasa. That is true. But
so is
there
a
are
Canadian
cowboys
Stampede
everywhere.
just them? Is a Canadian Stampede just them saying they're sorry as they do it to Mufasa? Either way, I digress.
And at the end of the match, there was a stampede, arguably, so I think it lived up to the hype.
So, first off, Ken Shamrock, man, love him. Love Shamrock.
Bro,
always been a Shamrock guy.
Oh man, he's such a walking ball of energy. I love it.
I loved Ken Shamrock as he was coming out. The three girls, the fans, that like were all like holding the Ken Shamrock rocks, like total pre-Attitude Era, Attitude Era adjacent stuff. I love that. Now, my first question I wanted to ask was going into this match. I know we're in Canada; it's Bizarro World. Like, was everybody that was on the Austin side a heel, and everybody on the Brett side already a face, or did everything just get thrown out the window for this one night?
No, everything got reversed for this one night. Going into this, Heart Foundations were the heels, and you had LOD. Goldust, Goldust was kind of a tweener. Shamrock was a face, and Austin was always a tweener. So that's what kind of made it like kind of iffy. But like pretty much at this point, Heart Foundation and DX were already going at it. Like Heart Foundation was already kind of going on the sour side, and that's specifically why they wanted a Canadian Stampede, because like they wanted on their home turf because they felt like it was not fair everywhere else.
Can't stand the Hearts, man. Freaking and then let's go get well-known Canadian Brian Pillman to join our team. That'll really round it out. Like fucking hell, man. All right, well that upsets me. That makes me hate the match now because like I was wondering if like the hate faces and the heels were reversed.
I'll double check it right now for you, but from what I remember into that,
it's fine for the sake of the show. We'll look off camera. It's fine. I liked how in the opening, like, you know, they were all having their stare down and like face off with each other, but they weren't like perfectly lined up like WWE's over choreographed like moments. Like they were all just kind of like in each other's face, but like not perfect, if that makes sense. Like,
exactly.
So I enjoyed that. I feel like Juice is going to start a war with Canada tonight. Hey, it wouldn't be the first country I started a war with.
Hey man, he's been watching some South Park. He's ready to go against Canada. I just double checked also, and I was correct. It was happening like that, where they were pretty much booed everywhere except for Canada, and vice versa for the face team or the heel team in this situation.
I hate them so much. All right, so, and I'm not even saying that for the camera. I
know you do. I know, it's so good.
Like Owen gets away with it, not because of what happened, but just like Owen kind of always got a pass by me. I never considered him a heart. He was always just like, whatever.
He's literally
he's not a nugget.
If anything, he of all five of them, besides Brett, he is the only other heart. The other ones are in-laws or cousins or whatever. One's not even part of the fucking family.
you have to realize my history with Owen Hart as a fan watching was just him teaming with Jeff Jarrett.
I understand. I'm just saying,
and like Mark
like,
Henry. So for me, it was
he's
never
a
like
heart.
the whole.
Nah, he's
Whatever.
a heart.
Okay. Moving on, I loved the sign that one fan had. It all said was Brett kicks, Austin licks, and I was like, oh my, like
That's a good one. That's a good one.
What a sign. Well done. But getting into the actual match now, it always amazes me watching these older matches. Because like you just think of like the industry and the times and how like these guys, man, they did so little in that ring and got so much from that crowd.
It's crazy.
Like, and that's just how it was, man. Like, you could do the simplest shit and it worked.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like you have to do all this stuff just to get a pop or a reaction. And it's the state of the times in the business. I get it. It's just like you watch this and you're like, wow, like that's insane. Like the littlest things are just
like
working.
he literally just did a shoulder bump and the crowd went fucking wild. Like it's crazy.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, and then also made me think I've wanted to bring this up for like forever, but I never found the right time to. Like
Same.
the running into the ring post spot that wrestlers do. I hate it now because like back then it made sense.
It was so
like,
believable.
The turnbuckle and the ring post were like this apart back then, for example.
Okay.
Now with the way they designed the rings, the turnbuckle and the ring post are here. So when you're doing your same shoulder block and you miss and go into the turnbuckle, you don't hit the ring post anymore. You go like that, but then the ring post is like over here and you're hitting like here. So the spot never looks good anymore. I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
No, I understand what you mean. Because there are times where like they hook the post because their shoulder doesn't, because they don't launch themselves, and because the problem is what the real problem is with that is that most guys aren't going to launch themselves hard enough to make it look believable, because then they'll actually hit it because it's too far away. So like that's the
spot
issue.
The spot should just die, but it's so ingrained in how
some guys do it well. I believe. I want to give. Yeah, I was gonna say. I want to say Drew McIntyre last night did it real well, because it's funny that you brought it up, because I remember last night seeing it, I was like, ooh, like that was a good one. But like not a lot of people do it well, especially the shorter guys. They really got to like catch it, and it just looks so bad. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah. And then so everyone's kind of testing the waters early on, and then we get to the big moment. HBK did it well. He did do it well because he
also did like the flip in there. I loved I just love HBK. Anyway, go ahead. It's not about HBK.
So Austin gets a chair, lays out Owen with the chair on the ring post, and then immediately Bruce Hart starts getting involved, like it's his business to get involved in this match.
That's his
like,
boy.
You're a paying customer. You're a fan in the seats. Like security should have kicked him out right there, but no, they let Bruce Hart stay after he puts his hands on the talent, and Owen gets taken out of the ring and walked up the ramp. And I'm glad they didn't take like 5 minutes to get him out of there. Like they just like did it. There wasn't this whole like stop the match. Oh, is Owen okay? Owen gets walked out because he can't continue. Austin then later on he grabs Brett's leg. I like the detail, the sharpshooter spot on the ring post that they do. Usually everybody makes it obvious when they hold the wrestler so they can do the spot to them. They did this really well where Austin grabbed the leg last minute.
Yep.
And it worked, and that's the kind of stuff.
It looked like he just caught it, and it was perfect.
And that's the kind of stuff that's missing now in wrestling, where like they just prepare the move and the choreograph rather than like make it look believable.
Yeah,
they just I don't know, but whatever.
No, I agree.
What do we got next? And then Austin gets taken out for a little bit, so Austin goes away. And the whole time I'm watching this match, by the way, I did not know if it was elimination or one pinfall to a finish. They did not make that clear.
I was gonna ask what you thought.
Well, they didn't make it clear, and at that point I was like, okay, they probably weren't even doing elimination matches really outside of a Survivor Series during this time.
Correct.
So it's probably one fall to a finish.
Correct.
But like then Austin and Owen got out, and they're like, oh, it's 4-4 now. I'm like, okay, so is it elimination? Like I was confused with.
No, they just meant like 2 men down each side, so it's back to being even 4-4. Yeah,
I understand that now, Danny.
Just making sure for our audience, like Killer Tomato, I gotta clear it up for them.
Yeah, and then Austin comes back out, Owen comes back out, and then like there's another assault on Austin at ringside, and then Brett throws him back in the ring. Owen does like a roll up, and that's just it. I didn't like the finish.
Yes, the finish was a little wonky. I thought the match was good, but they could have done a better finish. Even if it was like a DQ, like you could have made the DQ kind of everything that happened before and after the roll up could have just been the finish.
And the crazy thing is, like, I get that, like, a heart's a heart, but it's like I read after the fact that apparently this was like Brett's return to the ring after being out for a while.
Yeah, that's when he was in the wheelchair for such a long time. Like if you've seen any of the old
And
promos and stuff, that was
no,
like a big part of it. Really, you
oh,
never saw
promo where
like Monday Night Wars or whatever?
a promo where Bret Hart's mad, shocker.
I
So
meant in the
like,
wheelchair.
but it's like why? I guess I was just questioning why Owen got the pin when it's like Bret came back. You'd think Bret would get that moment, but whatever. Hearts are hearts. I guess it didn't matter. Um, so big shocker. The Canadians win in Canada. Everyone's going nuts. And then, can I just tell you, man? Like, all I kept telling myself during watching this whole video was, Austin is a menace. Like, he kept coming out and going after these motherfuckers.
It was so good.
Like, you keep thinking, like, okay, he's gone, okay, like, and then you just keep coming out and beat the shit out of somebody else, and
And it was like another random family member.
so that was amazing. Every time he just kept getting in their shit, I thought that was phenomenal stuff. And I found it funny because in typical Hart fashion, like, they won the match, and I'm watching them all, and I'm like, none of them look like they're happy they won.
Oh my god, they looked so even the family coming in to celebrate looked so angry. They're like, I just want to keep fighting.
Like, they're so miserable. Like, and that's why I can't stand them. It's like, oh my god, y'all fucking just enjoy your dark cloud, I guess. Fucking
Overall, what'd you think?
I mean, take it out of the Canada and the crowd reaction didn't really do much. I mean, like, the ending was shit. The story was basically Austin and the Hearts. So everybody else is pretty inconsequential. So I don't know. I'm glad I watched it just for the experience of it and I just see it, but like, not that great.
Wouldn't change your rankings last week. I believe you had like 9th or 10th or something. You had it low, right?
Probably would have kept it low.
Yeah, I think so as well. All right. Cool. Yeah. No, so just really quick from my experience with it, I think this is one of those moments that are more memorable because of the ending than the actual match itself. I think it was just part of the storyline. Like, this was, to me, a major part of the storyline growing up because I never realized, like, the difference between America and Canada until, like, this match. Like, we would see some stuff on TV, and, like, I think they went to Canada sometimes on Raw or SmackDown, and, like, you saw the reactions. But, like, this was literally almost a riot. And it was insane. And, like, I didn't realize how, like, big it was because then he would come back and, like, Bret Hart got booed the shit out of again. I was like, that's crazy that he's a hero in, like, another country and we hate him here and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, and typical Austin gets arrested. Meanwhile, all the criminals are around him. Like, fucking, okay, you all beat the shit out of him, okay? Like, wrong person went to jail. Wrong person went to jail that night.
Oh, man. All right. So, going from 1997, we're going to fast forward 3 years to almost a completely different company than what you just saw in 97. Because at this point, there's no more In Your Houses. We are in full-blown Attitude Era. And we are starring what's, at this time, is a tag team revolution. And I loved that you gave me Royal Rumble 2000 tables match, the first tables match, the Hardys versus the Dudleys. And it was dope. So, first thing right away, I forgot that the Dudleys had that entrance music, that it was like their early ECW music. So when it started playing, I was like, who the hell are these? I was waiting for like, what was it, Powerbomb and stuff like that. I was like waiting for like that like real heavy music. I'm like, this, okay, yeah, I remember this. And then I hated the stuttering angle. Hated the stuttering angle, even back then when I was a kid. So hearing Bubba Dudley doing the stutter again, I was like, please, I'm so glad he only did it once. Like, I'm glad, like, I think they started fading it out around that time. So, like, they were really trying to let go. But, oh, my God, it was so bad. Besides
John Rocker
that,
reference.
huh?
John Rocker reference, too.
Yeah. Great.
Show from DoN.
Great.
Well
Thanks
done.
a lot, John
very
Rocker.
timely.
Anyway,
Very timely.
I had to look that up. I forgot about the John Rocker reference until he said it.
Batteries.
After that, I mean, it was all back to my childhood. It was great. I really enjoyed, and I don't know if table matches have changed since then. We don't really see a lot of tag team table matches. And I don't know after that, like, how many matches were like this. But I did enjoy that it wasn't an elimination, like some of the matches have become since then, where, like, once you get put through the table, you're out. I do like that they were just, like, at first, I was confused. I thought they meant that they had to be put in consecutively. So, like, if Bubba went through a table and then a Hardy went through the table next, then Bubba would have to go through a table again. And they almost kind of did that. I don't know if you noticed that, but, like, they put Bubba through the table first, and then they put DoN through. Like, they almost made sure that they were consecutive, and I think that's what it was supposed to be, but the commentators weren't really saying it, so it doesn't really matter. But I do like that, like, they were still able to be involved in the match, because, like, once you eliminate one, it should be an easy win. So, like, the fact that they were both in there, I think was good. There were so many close calls. Like, you could tell this was the first time they'd done this in WWF. Oh my God, the first one where he did the backdrop on Jeff and Matt threw the table away, the table bounced back. So I thought he was going to catch the edge, and I was like, how do I not remember him going, like, parallel? Like, what's about to happen? It was crazy, the close calls. When they threw the table head first outside, like, that's a concussion right there. The unprotected chair shots to the head, forgot about them. The dark side of me misses them a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I know it's not okay. I know it's bad, but like that, like nowadays, just don't hit him with the chair in the head. I know it does. I know the hands are up. I know it doesn't hit. Hit him in the back. Hit him everywhere else. Like, you don't need to do the chair shots to the head unless, like, you really are trying to make it believable like they used to. But oh my God, it was just so vicious, man. And you could tell these two teams just wanted to prove that they should have the spotlight, and they came out swinging. It was crazy. And then, of course, the epic moment that, like, we still see played on clips these days of Jeff Hardy jumping off that tunnel and putting DoN through the table with the swanton. Like, that was one of his first crazy swantons. That was, and it's so funny. I'm looking at that. I'm like, man, that's not even that high for you. Like, like, that's not even, like, the craziest you're good. That's not even close to the craziest you're gonna do.
Setting the tone, man. Yeah.
But no, that match was awesome. Even now, like, I was glued to it. It was great. I really enjoyed it.
Awesome. Yeah. So, yeah, we had both seen this match already. And by the way, quick plug for WWE Vault over on YouTube. It's a new channel.
Yeah.
Go over and give
Has
them
some
a follow.
great ones.
It's WWE, so I know I'm promoting actually WWE, but
But
that's
you're
where I get
promoting
all
old
these
WWE.
matches. Well, yeah, but the WWE Vault YouTube channel has all these full matches on there, and also they just launched today NXT Vault, also on YouTube. So
when
maybe
NXT used to be good, like the gold brand.
Well, we'll see what they put on there, but yes. So some quick notes that I wrote down that I wanted to bring up. I laughed out loud at DoN climbing the ladder side with no rungs on it to stop Jeff.
Oh yeah.
But then he fell and took out that fan. He just fell right on that fan at ringside, which is amazing.
And you know that fan loved every second. He's like, I got to be involved, bro. Let's go.
Hell yeah. The spot where Bubba puts Matt Hardy through the tables in the ring was insane because, like, if you remember, they had, like, the table on two sets of stairs, but the stairs were facing inward, like under the table. And Bubba, credit to him and Matt, they went through it perfectly in the middle. But, like, anybody else lesser could have been off, and Matt would have gone right into the stairs.
Yeah,
like,
man, that was really
crazy,
that was another one I was nervous about.
Crazy spot.
Yeah.
What else do I got here? I love at the end, by the way. Okay, so the final spot. So I don't know if you caught this. There was just a guy giving the Dudley's tables at the end.
Yeah, bro, just like not even trying to hide himself. Just
Like,
here you
just
go.
a dude.
Here you
There's
go.
just a dude.
Here you
Just
go.
a dude handed him tables to set up the 4 tables. I
Do
was
you-
like, oh, okay.
And the only reason I noticed that was because Bubba wasn't there for the first like table or two. So I was like, wait, who is handing Devon the table? Like Bubba just stumbled in. I was like, I thought you were handing Devon the tables from the other side, and then this guy is just still handing them tables as Bubba stumbles. I was like, who is this? Is this Spike? Where's Spike Dudley?
Yeah, and I'll tell you, it's my last point about the match. Like total Mandela effect moment for me because like I've seen the clip and the moment millions of times. I always kept in my head that Jeff did the swanton off the taxi.
No.
No, like off the stage, and like I'm watching the video, I'm like, wait, they're on the opposite side. I'm like, was it really not on top of the? My brain just remembered him doing it off the stage in the taxi.
That's so interesting.
Maybe I'm recalling that because like maybe in No Mercy you were able to, and like the game you were able to climb the stage and do it off there, and maybe I did it off there a million times. I don't know, but either way, that was a wild thing.
That's bad for you.
Yeah, great match, marathon. Like I mean, a sprint rather. They just went nuts for 10 minutes.
Yo, that's something we should do. We should get No Mercy and just play it one night on here.
Oh God,
I love No Mercy. Anyway, no, I thought this is great. That spot, the other reason I always was nervous about that spot, besides it being through 2 tables and stuff, is that the bottom's just pure cement. Like this is it. Like this was the outside. This is where the fans walked in and stuff. So like that's why
that was only one table. That spot.
Oh, that's after they already. That's after they already put Devon through both of them. That's right. So yeah,
That's only one.
the bottom was all cement. So like you're going through those in impact, and there's no cushion. Like even the bare cushion that they have on the ringside is not even there. So like I will always remember that spot because like in my head like that you miss him, you're paralyzed. Oh my God, this whole match there are so many near misses. It's crazy, man.
Yeah. Well, hey, this has been fun. We talked a lot of old school wrestling.
Loved it.
So before we sign off, I just want to give everybody a sneak peek at what's coming for our next 2 episodes. This Thursday is our normal Last Point Standing, where we go back and forth and talk about the week that was in wrestling.
Kind of normal.
We're actually going to have some special guests on with us. We have the gentleman from Till 5 Wrestling coming on. We have Notorious ATB and Tanner. They will be joining us on Thursday for our show. We're also going to be filming some content with them for their show. So be sure to check them out over on Facebook. And when they're on, they're going to be talking about the week that was with us, as well as making our Royal Rumble predictions.
Royal Rumble Saturday.
It's going to be a fun one for us on Thursday.
Really quick, just even better sneak peek, Juice. They put some tag team titles on the pay-per-view, brother.
We'll get to that on Thursday. And the last thing I want to bring up then is next Tuesday's episode, if you're one of our Tuesday crowd. Next Tuesday, we are going to be on the heels of the post-Rumble. We will be making our WrestleMania card predictions.
Way too early predictions.
Way too early predictions based on how the Rumble goes. Danny and I are going to sit down, and we're each going to come up with what we think the show is going to be. Night 1 and night 2. So that's going to be fun.
So many matches.
And we did it last year.
Are we doing like 8 matches a night, right? Because it's WrestleMania. They usually
look at what we did last year. Last year, I think we did 7 a night, and we may have cheated and added 1, but we'll see how we did it.
All right.
I'll look at last year. So
now wait, in all seriousness, not being sarcastic, do we assume they're doing 5 matches each night?
No.
That's what they've been doing.
Well, no, Mania they've been doing 7 or 8. So
I feel like this is we'll talk about it. Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll stick with that.
Right.
But yes, that's what we got coming up for the next 2 episodes. Last minute plug again if you're watching. Thank you so much for taking the time to spend with us, and please go to our Facebook and sign up for our Road to WrestleMania fantasy game. Sign-ups are still open.
Starts this weekend.
Once the Rumble starts, that's it. You can't sign up. So if you want to take part in this for Mania season, please sign up now. Let us know. All the instructions on how to do it are over on our Facebook social. Danny, been fun, my friend.
Peace out, everyone. Have a great night. See you guys Thursday, same time, same place.
See y'all on Thursday. Bye-bye.